Okay, first the make prostrations, then we light the lamps, and then we will see the offering skulls we may do a little later, right? Okay, 3 prostrations together. Hands on the seas, the Buddhas of all directions, to shine the light of Dharma for all the world is good. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded puja, we still need 3 or 4 more. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries glow. Okay, thank you. Those of you who did not light the lamps, please come up to light the lamps. Come up. Okay, others, please take a seat. Okay, I hope you all have this book, The Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhisattvas. Okay, I hope you all have the book, The Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhisattvas. Okay, if you not, please raise your hands. Raise your hands who do not have this book. Raise your hands, those who do not have this book. Okay, make sure that you get a copy. Raise your hands, raise your hands. Raise your hands, those who do not have this copy. Okay. So first of all, let me convey the heartiest, the happy Buddha Jayanti Day for all of us, all of you here. And one clarification is required, that is the exact date of the Buddha Jayanti. So we see, as of now, we see that what we have is, today we are celebrating the Buddha Jayanti Day, and then 1 month later, again we're going to celebrate Buddha Jayanti Day according to another calendar, Tibetan calendar. So the question is always there. This has been a debate which which continued for the last many decades, if not for 100 years. Okay, so basically we need to keep in mind, most of us, those of us who are already exposed to the philosophy of emptiness, philosophy of relativity, the philosophy of the conventionality, that whether the right lane is correct, left lane is correct, there's no fixed rule. It's just how we think. Likewise, which date is correct? Finally, the calendars decide. And which calendar is correct? That is all decided by the people who create the calendars. So therefore, and this is what we need to keep in mind. So when we see things as so objectively real, so fixed out there, so objectified, so solidified, then all these conflicts can arise. Which is correct, which is not correct. Right lane is correct. Americans will say that, what? Right lane is correct, left lane is wrong. Indians will say, Britishers will say that, and Indians will say that the right lane is wrong, left lane is correct. So who is correct? Both are correct. It's just how we conceived the idea. So likewise, which of the two dates is correct? So the point is that we need to know the dates are on the basis of the calendars, and the calendars are what people created. So the calendar did not come before the advent of the human beings on this earth. So this is my view. So from that point of view, there's no harm if some people, they consider this calendar is very, they fix all the calendars on the basis of what they're doing. On this calendar, it's fine, we can observe, we can respect this. And then those who, they say, they ascribe all their works on the basis of the calendar, Tibetan calendar, according to which the Buddha Purnima falls 1 month later, again, it's fine, there's nothing wrong in it. The thing is,
the purpose must not be missed. The purpose is to say, remember this fully enlightened being, remember this enlightened being, and on that basis see how to emulate his qualities of unconditional love towards others, without any barrier between you and others, no matter what other person is, educated, uneducated, wealthy, poor, or say what is so called as the high class, low class, male, female. He simply transcends all these differences and embraces everyone with love and affection. See how much we can embrace this quality, one. Number two, this quality of embracing all others on the basis of the recognition, that we are all interdependent, we all seek happiness, we don't want suffering. Okay, there are more seats here, in between, here also, and on the chairs also, wherever you like. Okay, so that way, this is the one thing that we need to keep in mind. Now, the next point is that what about the Buddha's own view on this? What about Buddha's own view on this? Okay, Buddha's own view about the calendars. If you read the sutras, it is very clearly indicated that you can see, read the sutras, where all these discussions actually happened. For example, about observing the Vesak day, observing the compassion ceremony for the monastics. Then the monks, they followed the one calendar, and then it was more like it conflicted with the calendar followed by the other people. They complained, and the matter was reported to Buddha, and the Buddha said, just follow what they are saying. So like all this discussion happened in front of the Buddha. So that way, and there's no hard and fast rule to say that one calendar is correct and the other is wrong, so forth. The idea is that accumulating the virtues, to learn from, to remember this enlightened being, and not that so that I'll become richer, I'll be more successful, I'll be more lucky. No, that's not the idea. The idea is how to learn from this enlightened one. Compassion, unconditional compassion, which I explained earlier. Then number two, on the basis of understanding the interdependency, and more so, how to eventually say they get rid of all your fears of life, and then they see how to expand this feeling of joy, feeling of the fearlessness towards your family members, towards all the sentient beings. So this is the idea. So from that point of view, if you look at the discussions that happened at the time of the Buddha himself was involved there. The calendar-wise is not really to be taken so seriously, one to be correct, other to be wrong. So this is what we need to keep in mind. Now with this in mind, that of course there are so many people celebrating this enlightened beings, the three important occasions of his life: the birth, and then enlightenment, and Mahaparinirvana, three of them. So here we should be wise. In what way to celebrate. Of course, and then just celebrate, offer some flowers, and then in the end we have some good food and so forth. This one we're celebrating. There's nothing wrong in it. In fact, to do anything joyous, to commemorate someone who is very kind, someone who is very full of wisdom, that is something admirable. But when you speak about good things, they are varying in degrees. Say some 20% good, some 50% good, 80% good, 100% good. So see how best to how to acquire the greatest wealth of the benefit out of the observing this day. So we see that it is said, very clearly said, Buddha himself very clearly said that his deeds to benefit beings is through three doors: the body, speech, and the mind. And the body-wise, what he did was that at one point, particularly on the 15th day of the first month of lunar calendar, he performed innumerable miracles, physical manifestations, miracles, and so forth. So this is how he benefited so many beings at one point. But today, we just read, oh, he performed miracles. But are you sure that he performed miracles? For us, 2,500 years later, is all questionable, right? So even if he did perform that, we do not benefit anything out of the miracles, physical miracles he performed. And even today, if His Holiness the Dalai Lama in the Indira Gandhi, indoor stadium, he performed a miracle, right? At the best, what we can do is wow. We say wow, and then we leave. We get nothing out of that. Right? This is a physical. Then number two is the mental. Mental is something which we cannot really directly access. Mental of the enlightened beings is something which we cannot directly access. And of the three, we see that is the speech. The speech that he teaches, Buddha Shakyamuni teaches. For example, today, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, he teaches so widely, he gives teachings. These teachings directly benefit us, benefit the people. Right? So therefore, the point is of the three deeds, the deeds from the three doors, body, speech, and mind, say if you are to really remember this enlightened being, we should remember his deeds in terms of the speech. What speech? What he taught. What he taught. So the Buddha said that from this text which we're going to read, the Buddha said that the negativities of beings, the Buddha cannot wash the negativities of the beings. Negativities of beings, and so therefore the beings have become more very happy. If this is something the Buddha can do, if this is something any enlightened person can do, by now no being should be suffering. Everyone should be cleansed of the mental defilements, because all these enlightened beings came. Jesus Christ came, Krishna came, Ram came, Prophet Muhammad came, Mahavir came, Bahula came, Buddha Shakyamuni came, all these enlightened beings came, and Guru Nanak came, all these enlightened beings came, but still the world is full of defilements, full of, say, the crises, the problems are there. So, practically speaking, it is through his teachings. So he said that he cannot remove the miseries of the beings the way you remove the thorns from somebody else. It is only through changing the thought process of the people that the miseries can be stopped. And thought process of the people can be changed by giving proper directions, proper guidance. So the teaching, the deeds through the door of the speech, that is the supreme. So Aranyagārjuna, the 2nd century AD great saint scholar, and he is revered as the second Buddha by the followers of the Nalanda tradition. He always, in all his writings, the gap between Buddha Shakyamuni and him was maximum about so historically there's a little bit of the confusion or a little bit of conflict. Otherwise, it's like maybe 300, 400 years gap. Just this much gap. But he never praised the Buddha Shakyamuni for the Buddha Shakyamuni performing miracles. He always prayed Buddha Shakyamuni for two qualities: the quality of infinite love towards the beings and the quality of infinite wisdom. So this wisdom and the love he shared through his teachings. So this teaching becomes so precious, and particularly the teaching of interdependency. The moment we realize that we are all interdependent, amongst the intra-human beings, and between the human beings and the environment, automatically we develop a sense of concern, love and affection towards the fellow human beings, fellow animals, and towards the environment as well. So with this, of so many people celebrating this day today, remembering, commemorating this day, very holy day, let us remember this in a slightly different way, whereby the Buddha, if he's today with us, that he would feel that this should be the right way to remember me. So how? He loves the beings, and he loves to remove the miseries of the beings. And what makes the beings suffer? If that is what we can do something to remove, that would be the greatest gift for him. That would be the greatest commemoration pertaining to him. So that we see that what we've learned, most of us have already learned, that all these problems, somehow they are rooted to the thought processes, wrong thought processes, and the wrong thought processes eventually boil down to self-grasping ignorance. It's the wrong thought process, distorted thought process, and they complemented by the self-centered attitude. These two things together within us, the person is never happy. Since that, he loves all beings equally, whether you're Buddhist, non-Buddhist, non-believer, even those who don't believe, even those who confront with him, still he loves them very dearly, where the mother loves the child. So therefore, the point is, see how to get rid of all these problems is through getting rid of the cause of the problems, and knowing that the cause of the problems boils down to two things: self-grasping ignorance, distortion of the reality, ignorance, and the lack of concern for others. So these two things, it becomes so evident nowadays amongst the leaders, world leaders. We see that some don't have the empathy towards others. And then how many people suffer unnecessarily? And the reason why they don't have empathy is because of the narrowness of the vision. So narrowness of the vision is because of ignorance. So we see that it is because of these two things that the world is suffering. Now if you can remember this enlightened being, in light of his having showered the great light of the wisdom, of the knowledge, the wisdom of the unconditional love towards others. So this is the best way by which to commemorate this enlightened being. Okay, with that in mind, and today is a very auspicious day, and it's so moving. It is like, say somebody who lost her very affectionate mother, and remembering that mother, the enormous love that one has received from the mother, enormous wisdom that you have got from your mother, all what you're doing, all how you learn to adapt to the society because of these mothers, the knowledge that you acquired from the mother. So we see that this is amazing. So this is exactly what is how we should remember this very kind, compassionate teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni. So with that in mind, imagine that Buddha Shakyamuni. And imagine the Buddha Shakyamuni is in front of us, and today the one who really represents the Buddha Shakyamuni is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Let us remember, let us visualize him in front of us, and all the enlightened beings, and including all those enlightened beings who are in line with this Buddha Shakyamuni's thinking. For example, like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, his way of thinking is amazing. And likewise, Guru Nanak, Prophet Muhammad, and then Ram, Krishna, and Baha'u'llah, amazing Baha'u'llah, and his openness, his readiness to embrace and what is really beneficial for the beings is amazing. So just look at all these, the enlightened beings. It's so inspiring for us. It's in taking or the imitating the activities of these enlightened beings. There's no room for the world crisis. There's no room for gender discrimination. There's no room for terrorism. There's no room for corruption. Okay, so let us visualize all these enlightened beings in front of us, and also let us visualize your two parents and all the family members and everyone, all sentient beings on this earth, in this universe. Human beings, animals, the spirits, everyone with us, and you are leading this, and we are the you are inspiring all others to join us to remember the Buddha's qualities of the unconditional love towards others and the wisdom to know the interdependency, the very nuanced interdependency of all phenomena. Okay, with that in mind, let's turn to page 3 of the book. And towards the end of the program, then everyone will slowly stand up to make to offer a scarf, which we have here, a scarf to the Buddha, His Holiness, and all enlightened beings. Okay, this is what we're going to do in the end. And used by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And used by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. And used by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, one who taught this peace which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas, and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seek pacification and complete peace, who through the knowledge of past causes of migrants achieve the aims of the world, and who through the possession of nations helps subduers expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector to your frustrations. And the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations. It is adorned with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays. To you, the Buddha, I make prostrations. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I chant the mantra full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, this mantra is a very precious mantra. In a way, it's a secular mantra, meaning that it transcends all religions, or is beyond religions. It's only talking about the empirical reality, that the miseries that we go through they don't come to us randomly. They all arise by dependence on the causes. And whether it's even the happiness, likewise happiness that we seek is also not a random production. It comes into being by dependence on the causes. Knowing the interdependency between the result and the causes, how the result makes sense because of the causes, and how the causes make sense because of the results. So there's interdependence of cause and effect. So with this, if you don't want the miseries in the form of results, then knowing that this arises from their respective causes, wrong way of thinking, discard those wrong way of thinking, automatically your miseries will come to an end. Cut the poisonous root, and ultimately the millions of poisonous leaves that are growing on the tree, they'll all dry automatically. Likewise, if you want happiness, knowing that this happiness again does not arise randomly, it arises by dependence on the causes, we need to know how to embrace the causes. The moment we embrace the causes, automatically the results in the form of happiness is bound to happen. So this is the meaning. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava means these phenomena, ye dharma, these phenomena, hetu, causes, prabhava, arise. All these phenomena arise from causes, including miseries. Hetum tesham tathagato. Hetum, causes, plural form causes. Tesham, these. Tathagato, Tathagata referring to the Buddha. Hyavatat, said. What the causes of these are, what these causes are, is said by the Buddha, is indicated by the Buddha. Tesham chayo nirodha. Tesham chayo, tesham, these, chayo, nirodha, cessation of these causes, evam, thus, vadi, taught, evam vadi. Who taught this? Mahashramana, the great saint, has taught this. So, how to bring an end to the causes of these miseries is also taught by the great saint. Yes, Vaha, this is established. Okay, this is the meaning. So we recite this together, and those of us who are singing this for the first time, listen to us, and then join us to sing with us. Okay, so as we recite this, let us make a commitment that I should not be happy. If this enlightened being, Buddha Shakyamuni, is today with us, the first concern with regard to you is that you should not be unhappy. You should be happy. Right? This would be his major concern for you. All of us, each one of us. Right? It doesn't matter whether you are his related or whether you are his, something. No, everyone is related to him. For him, there's no difference. Everyone is like his own child. This is wholeheartedly what he feels. So what he wishes is that each one of us should be happy. Right? Okay. And how to be happy is that looking for the unconditional love towards others. Looking for the practically how when I'm happy I can benefit others more. How when I'm happy, then say that even the environment around me will be happy, right? And then everyone who's connected with you will be happy. So this is the major message of this enlightened one for us. And from what we are learning here on Ye Dharma, this mantra, is that this happiness arises from the various causes in the terms of unconditional love towards others and in terms of the wisdom. So with these two things intact, you will be happy. If you're happy, people around you will be happy. So the message from the Buddha Shakyamuni is be happy, right? Be happy. And if you want the second message, be wisely happy. We should do those things which will actually give rise to happy, right? Okay. So with this mind, we'll recite this together. And those of you who are new, you just listen to us and join us also, right? And meanwhile, don't forget to visualize your two parents and all your dear relationship beings around you. And if you have difficulty with your parents, I'm sure some of you might have difficulties. Our job here is to transcend, right? To have difficulty with your parents. Maybe it's your parents' mistake. Maybe it's your mistake. But if it's the case, this difficulty is a clear indication that we are ordinary beings. So now today, we are thinking of emulating this incredibly great enlightened being. How can we emulate him? Is by he has transcended the ordinariness, ordinary thinking. For him, it doesn't matter. Everyone is his very affectionate child. So this is what we're going to emulate from this enlightened being. We're also going to see everyone as your very affectionate child, including your parents. So now, if you have a little difficulty with your parents, see how you can learn the skill, acquire the skill to see yourself as the mother and your parents as your own mischievous young children. Right? If you have difficulty because of mistake of the parents. If it's your mistake, then rectify yourself and become very mature. Feel yourself as very mature parents and make your parents feel happy. Okay, happy. So this is the immediate thing. Charity begins at home. Okay, we'll say this together. Om ye dharma hetu pranava hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vadi mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashamanaye Svaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tata Gato Yavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Svaha. The meaning of the mantra, let's read the following. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-eyed, and non-composite. Such is the nectar like Dharma I've discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I return to the words. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the professional wisdom, which is unborn, unseized, and has the nature of space. Is a virtual apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times of your obeisance. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of all. I prefer teaching the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, please liberate all beings. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by the teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all the little miseries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, we will turn to page 14, the praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, full destroyer, completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct. Sugata, noble of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and full awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subdued from the Shankar clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O Supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, forms supremely pure, with wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, beneath the banks, Lord, to I prostrate. With the supreme time's face like a spotless moon, color like gold to your prostrate. Treasury like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incompatible wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the low realms, the one path that is one to the Dharma that pacifies the prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realizations, but are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly, this is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a vision apparition, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this marriage, sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the 4 faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, let's turn to page 31. Page 31, the mantra, just the mantra, we will recite it 7 times. Again, the same thing. Those who are reciting for the first time, you can join us by listening to us, and you can join us. And the meaning, Tiyatha means here is thus. Om. Om symbolizes the Om symbolizes the individual. Om which consists of 3 letters, U, Ma. And these 3 letters, they symbolize the body, speech and mind that we have. And the body, as we recite this mantra, Om, the mantra, the syllable, Om, this should remind us of transforming the very defined, impure body, speech and mind that we have into the pure body, speech and mind. Okay, this is what we need to remember. Then the question arises, how can we do this? How can we transform this impure body, speech, mind that I have into the pure body, speech, mind of the enlightened beings? So then the answer is Gate, Gate, Para, Gate, Para, Samgate, Bodhisattva. This is the how to purify it. So this purification has been done by 1, removing your fears. Number 2, by expanding your state of fearlessness, expanding your joy. Right? Anyone. What does it mean by a perfect being? What does it mean by perfect being? In a conventional sense, perfect being is somebody who is fearless, somebody who has already gone into all the fears of life, 1. Number 2, who has infinite joys, who has infinite joy. So these 2 things, anybody who has these 2 qualities, you are a perfect being, because perfect means what is your ideal? What's the ideal goal that you have in mind? If somebody is to grant you that, everybody will surely go for the fearlessness, total fearlessness, and infinite joy. The fearlessness, opposite of fearlessness is the fear, and fear is grounded on ignorance. So by eradicating the ignorance, the fearlessness is automatically created. Say in the dream, we start dreaming, and the content of the dream, you do not decide. Content of the dream. The moment you start dreaming, this dream, you see that it's so real. And because you see it as so real, while actually it's not real, it's coming from your mind. You see it as so real because of this perception. What is coming from the mind, you see it as objective real. That is ignorance. In other words, seeing the dream is real. So this ignorance is responsible for you to go through nightmares in the dream. Whether ghost is chasing you, or whether something bad is happening to you, and so forth. So this is a nightmare you're going through. It's all because of the ignorance, not realizing that all what is happening in the dream is all coming from your mind. Instead, you see it as being so real. So this deception is what is responsible for all the fears in the dream. Likewise, all the fears in our life, they're because of our failure to see the reality the way it is. The reality is everything is like a dream. Failing to see this, we see things as so real, because of which it leaves the ground for it. It is the basis for the ignorance, and because of which the ground for all the fears to arise. So the fearlessness will be achieved by eradicating our ignorance. And the infinite joy, the second one, the fearlessness, and the second one is the infinite joy. How can we have the infinite joy? Tell me, when do you experience in your life, can you remember any moment where you had a genuine happiness? I remember when I was age 3 or 4 in my mother's lap, and the mother caressing, and mother singing song. So this moment is so vivid to my mind that if I would say that besides my learning of the philosophy and trainings bodhicitta, besides these two things, right? If there is something in my mind, experience in my life, that is most memorable, I would say, that experience when this young boy did not have any responsibilities, all responsibilities taken care of by someone, and taking care of your responsibilities, and still you are being hugged. That in this world there is somebody who knows you. Otherwise the rest of the world, they don't know your existence. But this mother knows you so well. This mother, for this mother, you are the whole world for her. So this is love and affection that I experience. So that is the happiest moment. So when you feel the genuine love and affection, the happiness, what we call as the pure happiness, it exudes. Now, if you could see that this love and affection is coming not only from this mother, one mother, but from 10 people, then the 10 times it exudes happiness. If it's coming from infinite beings, infinite happiness will exude from within. So how can you make it happen? By deliberately cultivating, by resorting to some methods as to how to cultivate this infinite love towards others. You can feel the love resonating. You can feel the love reverberating. You can feel the love, the bouncing back to you. Infinite love and affection. So this will give you the infinite happiness. So once we have these two things, eradicating the fear by cultivating the wisdom to see the reality, and by expanding your love and affection towards all beings, infinite happiness you experience. So with these two things that happen, combining together, no doubt, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Ram, Krishna, Guru Nanak, then Mahavir, Bhaula, Buddha, everybody will unanimously say that this is the perfect person, right? You are the happiest person. Okay, so the point is how to say transform this body, speech, mind that I have into the body, speech, mind of an enlightened being, pure one, so that I will have the total fearlessness. With this fearlessness, I may embrace all beings unconditionally with infinite the love and affection, so that I experience the infinite happiness. How to do that is by transforming within. So like the sound of a clamp. Sound of a clamp. This sound of a clamp is invariably arising the moment the two hands come into contact. And one hand symbolizing external factors, and the other hand symbolizing internal factors. And external factors say, Delhi traffic is terrible, Delhi weather is terrible, Delhi dust is terrible, pollution, right? Delhi cold is terrible. We always blame outside. We never blame inside, right? We are not to blame the self. We are to blame the internal factors of the two hands. Internal factors, lack of the wisdom and the lack of love, right? Don't blame the self. This self is so precious. This self is so precious. Remove this lack of the wisdom, remove this lack of the love, this self will become a transcendental self. This self will be able to benefit all beings, like the self of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Right? How much just he shows his face, and how many millions of people they feel the joy out of seeing his face. This is all because of his infinite love and affection with inside. So see if we can also acquire these qualities within. So for that matter, this is not an easy task. It is a process. It involves a process, and 5 processes involved: gati, paragati, parasamgati, bodhisattva. This is a process by which we have to transform, remove this ignorance slowly to see the reality like a dream. Remove this self-centered attitude and see how I can, today, today I go and I see my mother. Usually I say, the mother will say, okay, my daughter, my son, you like a cup of tea? What tea? Usually I say like this, no, from today onwards, no, right? Buddha Chanti, the first step I'll take is that mother says, you like a cup of tea? Oh, no, mom, please you stay. What do you like to have? A cup of tea for you, right? Okay, this should be change happening. Change should begin like this. If that happens, you are actually in line with gati. Means go from the miserable state to the state of the happiness. Right? To the state of happiness. How? Simply change within. Change within, and everything fall in place. Your happiness fall in place. Everybody will be happy. When you're happy, when you see everybody smiling at you, you are very happy. Right? We say whatever post that you do on your the social media, you want people to say like, which means that you like everybody to like you, right? So if this is what you like, why don't you smile at others? that others smile at you through smiling at others. So this is what we should be doing, right? This is the first step let us take. And at home, husbands towards the wife, wife towards the husbands, children towards the parents, parents towards the children, right? And at workplace, of course, we need to be a little skillful, right? What is known as when you are, say, being too kind, the other person may mistake that. Okay, after Buddha Janti, he has become very weak. She has become very weak now, right? Okay, become too soft, weak. Now we can manipulate this person. Okay, after Buddha Janti, right? So we need more Buddha Janti for this person. Okay, so this should not happen. The point is that it requires skillfulness, right? Skillful compassion, where we should never give in to anger, never ever, with husband and a wife, parents, children with parents, we should never give in to anger. Even at the workplace, never give in to anger. Anger is not at all a sign of strength. Anger is a sign of weakness. Say the dog. If you chase the dog, what will the dog do? Dog will run. Right? Dog will not show anger, will run. When the dog is cornered, when the dog finds that there's no other place to run, then the dog will attack you. Which means that he's so vulnerable, he cannot do anything. So to defend himself, he attacks you. So anger is a sign of weakness, the vulnerability. Right? So therefore, when we show anger to someone, it is a backward thinking that I'm strong. Oh, he's very strong. He's so angry, short-tempered person. This is a sign of weakness. Right? We can take the steps to stop the other person doing bad things, not necessarily through anger, through proper wise steps, but never give in to anger. This is so important. Okay. With this mind, let's take the first step. So, Buddha Janti today, 2018, Buddha Janti in Tibet House. So let us take a step. Okay, usually with my husband, with my wife, with my children, with my job, workplace, friends, the colleagues there, usually I'm not too considerate of others. Okay, I'll be a little more considerate with others. Okay, so if my degree of anger is like 10%, I'll make it 9%. If it's like 50%, I'll make it like 49%. Right? Make some commitment, something concrete at hand. If this is what you can do, then once you go down from 50 to 49, it's easy to go down to 48. So that's how and as the anger disappears, you will see the magic. You say, wow, I'm a very happy person now. Otherwise, usually small things can easily trigger anger within me, agitation within me. Now I'm so peaceful, calm. And how do you know this? People around you, they will come closer and closer towards you, which means that you have become very calm and peaceful person. Okay, this is so important. So how to do that? Gate, para samgade, bodhisa. Go beyond, go utterly beyond, and establish your ultimate happiness. Okay, this is the point. With that in mind, let's recite this 7 times. And we recite this, imagine that Buddha Shakyamuni so compassionately tell us, don't remain in the fears of samsara. Come to his ultimate happiness. And you hearing this melodious voice of the Buddha Shakyamuni, imagine that you inspire your 2 parents, you inspire all the family members, you inspire everyone, right? Those who already passed away, those who are no more with us, even to them, you mentally talk to them and inspire them to come, join us today on this Buddha Janti, and let's follow his steps. To follow this, to cleanse the mind of the mental defilements, so that we'll become fearless in our mind, we'll have infinite happiness eternally. Okay, and you are leading this and inspiring everyone so happily joins you in this journey. Samgati Bodhi Swaha Tyata Om Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhi Swaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhisvaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhisvaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhisvaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasangati Bodhisvaha. Okay, let's turn to page 39. For this, the ceremony, undertaking the ceremony of the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, what we're going to read now, the foundation of all good qualities, this is going to be like the basis. So, depending on how much you prepare yourself on the basis of this reflection that you find in the foundation of all good qualities, that will then decide how much you get the Bodhisattva vow. And Bodhisattva vow that we're going to take. So basically, Bodhisattva. Bodhi means awakening. Sattva is the courageous one, the heroic one, or the courageous one. Courageous one to say that I will awaken myself fully so that I can help all others. Say the mother and the children, and the 5 children, they're all sleeping, fast asleep, and the mother awakened. The mother could see that the children, they are going through their body language, they could see that the children are going through nightmares. So what can the mother do? What is the best way for the mother to do? If you are the child, you're one of the children there, and you are having the nightmare, being chased by the ghosts, right? And you are running, you are sweating, there's so much fear in you. So from the body language, the mother could see what is happening in you, right? So there, so how can your mother help you? The best word is just wake you up, shake you and wake you up, right? Wake you up. So likewise, saying, if you are one of them, if you are one of the 5 children, and if you are given them shown this scenario that you are the 5 children, you and your the 5, and you're going to fall asleep, you're all going to be going to go through a nightmare, and your mother will not be available there, right? So what will you do? And you love the 4 brothers and sisters so much, right? You don't want to see them going through a nightmare. So what will you do? You will aspire to wake up, keep awake yourself, right? Keep awake yourself, that when a brother and sister, when they fall asleep, and when they have you will take the responsibility. Even if you are half asleep, still your mind. No, I should not fall asleep. I should help my brothers and sisters when they go through nightmares. So this is a courage that you are building in order to wake up the other brothers and sisters so that they'll be freed from the nightmare. So this is the beings. And the mother who is fully awakened, and then taking care of the children when they go to nightmare, then she wakes them up. Okay, this is, the mother is like the Buddha. The Buddha is like the mother. Whereas you, yourself being a child who needs like 20 hours of sleep a day, right? And you know that you love the siblings so much, you want to help them, you don't want to see them going through nightmares, so forth, and then you're so courageous, despite you being so vulnerable, you also need like 20 hours of sleep, but then you try to keep yourself awake, and you're falling asleep, still struggling, right? This is the bodhisattvas, the beings who make a commitment that I'll also become one like my own mother, who's so strong, can remain in a waking state for all these hours to help the children. Likewise, I will wake up fully so that I can benefit all sentient beings, free all sentient beings from the ocean of the miseries and the pains. So these people are known as the bodhisattva. I mean, bodhi meaning full awakened. The one who's courageous enough, sattva, who's courageous enough to aspire to become the fully awakened one, so that he or she can awaken all others from the nightmare of samsara. Okay, so that is the bodhisattva. Now, bodhisattva's vow, there are two kinds. One is the proper one referring to the saying, only if you are fully prepared with the experience of the bodhicitta, then you can actually take that bodhisattva vow. Whereas for us who are not ready yet, we have to practice more. For us, we can take the aspirational bodhisattva vow, not the full-fledged bodhisattva vow. Aspirational bodhisattva vow, there's no special commitment. For the full-fledged bodhisattva vow, there are many commitments, right? Then you're not supposed to be, we should be really very careful to make sure that all these commitments are observed. Whereas for the aspirational bodhisattva vow, there's a tremendous benefit, yet no responsibilities. Who likes that? All of us likes that, right? Okay, tremendous benefit, yet no. While we are doing it, do it seriously. Meaning that while you take this aspirational bodhisattva vow, we take it very seriously, right? Take it very seriously, and then otherwise there's no commitment following that. Okay, so what is the maximum commitment that is attached to this is that I will, to the best I can, I'll be kind towards others. To the best I can, I'll be kind towards others. And if not, at least I will not harm others. This much, if you can commit. And once in a while, you may have a little bit of fight with the brothers, sisters, or whatever. But deep inside, you should not have anger. Deep inside, you should not have hatred, hostility, and so forth, right? Okay, just the emotional, reaction, the instant or sudden reaction can they arise, but deep inside you should not have anger and hatred towards anyone. So this is what we should be committed. Okay, so as a foundation for this, to lay the ground for this, which is so precious, particularly in the conjunction with this very auspicious day, Buddha Jayanti, let us read the following by a proper reflection. With a proper reflection. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and the perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon with him great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and it is never to find again. Day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me to always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, great Krishna arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Purnima vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so for all mother my creator beings. Please bless me to see this, train in Supreme Bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing my greater beings. Even if I develop Bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vow with great energy. Once I've pacified distractions to rule Please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of the common body, especially inside. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows to Samaya. As I did become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pleasures like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, essence of Vajrayana, by blessing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Guru who showed the noble path and his spiritual friends who practice it have long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all our many hindrances. In all my life, never separated from perfect Gurus, enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the stages on the path. May I could attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay. Okay, now we will do the ceremony. As a part of the ceremony, there are 4 things to do. Single-pointed meditation, then the renunciation, then the bodhicitta, the wisdom of emptiness. Then with these 4 things intact, then the actual ceremony. Okay, for the first part, for the meditation, okay, we're going to meditate for 5 minutes, and there may be 1 or 2 who have no exposure to meditation. It doesn't matter. I'll give a very quick instruction on meditation. And the meditation. Otherwise, meditation is something which is very popular, and everybody, almost like everyone, is somehow so whether they're actually doing it or not, but they know what meditation is. So this meditation, the purpose is in a very strict or in a very precise, accurate form. The purpose is to transform yourself. Transform yourself from the moment. The moment we speak about transformation, we may think, okay, to be good, to be spiritual. No, this is not a connotation. Transform yourself from an unhappy person to a happy person. And who wants that? Everyone. Whether you're a believer, non-believer, politicians, corrupted people, decent people, everybody wants this. Wants to transform yourself from the unhappy state to a happy state. Okay, this happiness that we seek, this happiness is finally we realize that while it depends on external factors and internal factors, the wise people will tackle the internal factors. While taking care of the external factors, but the unwise ones will only tackle the external factors, will never think of tackling the inside, and the person will never become happy. So the wise people will take care of the external plus internal. So how to take care of the internal? This is the point. So internal, what we have learned is we have to wake up from the sleep of ignorance, from the nightmare of the ignorance. We wake up. Waking up means, by waking up, we eradicate the ignorance of the dream. And ignorance is like darkness. In dark, you don't see what is around you, because of which you become so apprehensive. What could be right there? There may be precipice there, I may fall off there may be snake there may be a wall there. We never know. So with this dark, in dark, there's so much of fear coming, and this dark symbolizes the ignorance. And how to get rid of this ignorance responsible for all our miseries, for all our problems, is by thinking of the darkness. How to get rid of the fear coming out of the darkness? You have to remove the darkness. How to get rid of the darkness? It is only through introducing the light. It is only through introducing the light that the darkness can be eliminated. Likewise, to eliminate the darkness of the ignorance, it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom. And this light of the wisdom should have two characteristics or two qualities. This light of the wisdom. Say, there's a power cut, there's no light, you are already at 12 a.m., midnight, and you have to read a very important book, right? But there's no source of light. You're in dark. So what will you do? You will light a candle. And this candle should have two qualities. One is that the candle must be very bright. It must be very bright. If it is not bright, if it is so dim, the purpose is all defeated. It must be very bright. Now, while the candle is so bright, the brightness is equivalent to a very powerful wisdom, very refined wisdom, very subtle wisdom. So this light, very subtle, very bright light, it must have the second quality, that it must be steady. Even if the light is very bright, if the light is flickery, does it serve the purpose for you to read a book? It does not. It's so disturbing. It strains your eyes so much. So this light must be very steady. It must be very bright, plus it should be steady. So this wisdom that we need to cultivate to wake up from the sleep of ignorance, it should have two qualities. One is that it must be very bright in the sense of having a very nuanced, subtle wisdom to know the reality in its very subtlest form. Number two, it must be very steady. So what we do now is that the meditation to stabilize the mind. So this wisdom is what we should cultivate. This wisdom will transform you from the miserable state to the happy state. This wisdom. Now this wisdom, we see that it has to be one, to see the reality, brightness, that we will do a little later. And the steadiness, we are going to cultivate it now. And the brightness, to bring the brightness of this wisdom is known as analytical meditation. Meditation is to bring this wisdom alive within you, a meaningful wisdom within you. So the wisdom, the brightness, that is the analytical meditation, and a wisdom of the stability, that is the single-pointed meditation. So broadly speaking, we have to know that meditation is of two kinds, single-pointed meditation and the analytical meditation. So what we're going to do now is the single-pointed meditation. And we're going to do this for 5 minutes. Okay, ready? Okay, by the way, just raise your hands, those who do not have any exposure to meditation training. Just raise your hands. Okay, there are some of you. Okay, so those of you who already have exposure to meditation, you start doing your meditation now. Those who have no exposure, listen to me. I'm going to give you a very simple meditation technique. This is going to be very secular. Whatever religion that you're following, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't believe in any religion, if still this meditation will be very helpful to maintain the calmness and to build concentration in the mind, in your thinking, in your focus. Okay, so this consists of 4 parts to keep in mind. One is the body posture. For the body posture, just see if you can sit cross-legged, which means your left foot on your right and the right leg and the right foot on your left leg. This is a cross leg. If you can do it, well and good. If you cannot, don't worry, right? It is not mandatory. One, what is very important is the back must be upright. Back must be upright, and unless you have backache problem, I would suggest don't lean against any support, right? You keep your back upright. This is very important. Back upright. Whereas if you have backache problem, then you must lean against the support. Otherwise, the pain will disturb your meditation. Then the next is your eyes not closed. Eyes not closed. Eyes half open, and 45 degrees cast down. This is your eyes. The tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate. Tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate to avoid excessive accumulation of saliva in your mouth. Okay. Then Okay, then your right hand on your left hand, tips of the two thumbs joining, forming a triangle. Place the two hands on your laps in a restful state. Right? Okay, this is your body posture. Body posture, and breathe naturally. Never impose your breath, never force your breath, never control your breath. Just breathe naturally. Okay. Then point number 2 is focal point. What we are going to meditate on? We're going to meditate on a very tiny dot, white dot, 1 mm or 2 mm in diameter, which should be visualized between the nose and the upper lip. This is where we're going to visualize this tiny dot. White dot. While you visualize this tiny dot, those of you who can, those of you who cannot, you can just visualize this tiny dot. Those of you you can go for multitasking, then simultaneously count the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 1, breathe in, breathe out. Cycle 2. This is what we will do for, I'll say, 5 minutes. So depending on the length of the breath, in some cases it can be 60 breaths, in some cases it can be 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, depending on your length of breath. There's no hard fast rule to say that it should be this number. Okay, this is your focal point. Number 3, identify the errors of meditation. Do the meditation, your mind may go into may fall prey to the meditation errors. Errors, there are 2: mental laxity and mental scattering. Mental excitement. Mental excitement meaning your mind gets scattered here and there. And mental laxity is when your mind becomes very heavy, inserviceable, lethargic, and sleepy. So should any of these 2 things happen, then you must apply the remedies. Remedies to mindfulness and introspection. Introspection, mindfulness. Introspection is like keeping an eye on your mind to see if your mind is distracted. Do you see your mind if it is falling asleep? And that is introspection. It is like, okay, it is like you lost your dog, pet dog. First you go and search for the pet dog. This is introspection. Once you find your dog, now, once you find your dog, the job of the introspection is done. Next is the job of the mindfulness, which is like the rope. Tie the dog with the rope and bring it back home and tie it to the pillar at your home. Likewise, once you see the mind is either distracted or in a lethargic state, your job is to bring the mind back to the intended object of meditation. Okay, this is what we do for 5 minutes. Ready? Okay. Next we will do the renunciation. It is, say, what we have is the miseries is what we have. We don't like this. And what we want is we want happiness. And the miseries, they're all because of they're attracted with external factors intact, then the internal factors, the destructive emotions within us. So when we get rid of the destructive emotions, this is the true meaning of renunciation. Oftentimes people have a misunderstanding. Or renunciation, Buddhism talks about renunciation, you have to renounce your good food, good house, good cars. This is a total misconception of renunciation. Renunciation means to renounce your miseries, not to renounce your good food, good house, good cars. It is to renounce your miseries, right? So if you already have happiness and if infinite happiness, you don't have to renounce this. Everybody wants happiness. So we renounce miseries. And to renounce miseries, what we have learned from the mantra, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava, these miseries arise from the listed cause, two causes, the external factors and the internal factors. External factors, do as much as you can to get rid of the external factors, but finally we cannot really get rid of the external factors fully. External factors somehow going to be there, but try your best to get rid of them. But what you can do for sure is to get rid of the internal factors. Internal factors, how to get rid of that? By meditating on these 4 points, which are so precious in your life. If you can think about these think of these 4 lines on a daily basis, at least recite it. Recite it. Be mindful of these 4 factors. You will see that overall speaking, your mind will be very stable. When you confront with challenges, difficulties of your life, your mind is still very stable. Your mind is not going to be fluctuated. It's not going to be affected badly by the external factors. Okay, the 4 points are known as the 4 seals of the teachings for your happiness, for to get rid of miseries. And the four seals, all composite things are impermanent, all contaminated things are suffering nature. And verse 3, everything is the nature of emptiness and selflessness. And number 4, transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Very good. So these four, anybody can think about this. Finally, the point is that whether you're a Buddhist, Hindu, Muslims, Christians, Jains, Jews, non-believers, it doesn't matter. Everybody wants happiness. Nobody wants suffering. And we all have, no matter whether you're Buddhist or non-Buddhist, whether you believe or non-believe, everyone has a seed of perfection. This we have to know, that everyone has a seed of perfection within us. Each one of us has a seed of perfection. Each one of us has the seed of perfection to make yourself the happiest person you can. We have this potential within us. So with this in mind, how to now, the point is how to awaken this seed. So first, when your car is driving towards the precipice, your car is supposed to be running away from the problems, and then actually it's going towards the precipice to fall off, right? So first, what you do? You stop it. First, stop it so that you don't fall off the precipice. Then, after stopping it, then you turn towards the picnic spot, right? Instead of going towards the precipice, turn towards the picnic spot. So for that, the first step to stop falling off the precipice is the practice of the four seals. Then, turning towards the picnic spot is the practice of the compassion. Compassion will really make you a happy person, right? And then finally, how to accomplish both the tasks in its fullest form is by meditation on the reality, emptiness, right? Okay, this is what we're going to do. Well, for the four seals, we're going to do it very briefly though today because of constraint of time. Okay, sit properly, and it's going to be more a guided meditation. A guided meditation, just follow the instructions, and I'll give the instructions, and just follow the instructions. See how much you can invoke the respective experiences to the best you can, right? And stop ruminating over the past experiences, and stop anticipating for the future events, and just be in present moment, focus on the instructions, and follow invoke the experiences to the best you can. Okay. The first seal, all composite things are impermanent. Today, 2018, there are so many people who are celebrating this day, remembering this enlightened being who left the legacy of unconditional love and a wisdom of interdependency. And today, the young, old, rich, poor, educated, uneducated, and people who have no exposure, who have no clue of what is today. There's so many people in their own ways, and the parents have so much plan for the children, so much of aspirations for the children. My child should become like this, like that, and so forth. Children likewise have their aspiration for their life, their career, and so forth. Okay. What is happening today was exactly what happened 500 years ago. The same thing. People who admire the Buddha Shakyamuni, they were celebrating this day 500 years ago. And people who have no clue of what is happening corresponding to this day, they were in their own ways, in their own world. And the parents, there's so much expectation from the children, and children likewise, so much aspiration, apprehension about their life, the career, and so forth. Those who existed something what is happening today, exactly what is happening 500 years ago, maybe like 6 billion human beings or 5 billion human beings then. Today, not even a single person is left now. Everyone is gone. Everyone is gone. The parents, whether the aspiration related to their children, whether they accomplished or not accomplished, along with the aspirations, along with the dreams for the children, everyone disappeared. Not even a single person is left today. That is 100% sure. Now, 500 years in the future from now, the 7 billion human beings today who are observing this celebration, who have no clue of the celebration in their own world, not even a single person will be left 500 years in the future from now. That is 100% sure. This is guaranteed. This is known as all composite things are impermanent. This is what this enlightened being, the Buddha Shakyamuni, taught 2,500 years ago. If things are all impermanent, those impermanence, visible impermanence, also known as gross impermanence, is underscored by the subtle impermanence, momentariness. You look at the timer, how the timer watch works so fast. The second moves like 1 second split into 100 these segments, and they move so fast. Every composite phenomena, including your body, your mind, the environment in which we live, everything is moving so fast. From the physics point of view, we are all composed of the particles, electrons, protons, neutrons, so forth, and the atoms, how they move so fast. There's constant flux of change, momentariness there. This is reality. This is what the Buddha taught 2,500 years ago. All composite things are impermanent. Okay, if all composite things are impermanent, then what the next moment is going to be like is decided by the preceding moment. What tomorrow is going to be like is going to be decided by today. So that way, what the future is going to be like is going to be decided by the present moment. So where are we heading towards? We're heading towards death. This is reality, as was said earlier. But then what the next moment is going to be like, that's going to be decided by today. If we are thrown in a very fast moving train, our body is moving so fast, our mind is moving so fast, everything is moving so fast. If you're thrown in a very fast moving train, what is your feeling? What is your emotional reaction? No doubt it's going to be so much of fear, trauma. The nightmare will go in your mind. Yes? Why? Because we don't know where this train is taking us. Imagine if this train is... Who decides? By the way, who decides where this train is going and taking you to? That is decided by the driver. If the driver is the terrorist, no doubt it will take you to a slaughterhouse. But if the driver is your mother or a father, it will take you towards a picnic spot. In our case, our driver is the mind, and our mind is under the sway of the two terrorists, two demons: self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. As long as our mind is under the sway of these two demons, the two worst of the contaminations, mental contaminations, two demons, we will never be happy. It will only take us to miseries. This is what is meant by the second seal. All contaminated things are of suffering nature. Okay, this reality is so disgusting that we are going into the state of the miseries. Is there a way out of this? Yes, of course there is a way out. We should not give in to this, the driver, the self-grasping, the self-centered attitude. We should get rid of these two demons. And how to get rid of these two demons? And these two demons of the two, the self-grasping ignorance is one, which also dictates the work of the self-centered attitude. So self-grasping ignorance, we have to get rid of this ignorance. Just eradicate this demon, self-grasping ignorance, and hand it over to the wisdom. Eradicate the self-centered attitude and then hand it over to the other cherished mind. Then your driver is under the sway of the two beautiful minds, and it will surely take you to the state of the ultimate happiness. How to get rid of this ignorance? This demon of the ignorance. Yes, ignorance, by definition, is a mind whose apprehension of the reality doesn't tell you the reality. To get rid of this ignorance, which is like darkness, it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom. What is this light of the wisdom? Wisdom, by definition, is a discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with reality. What's the reality? The reality is indicated by the Buddha as the third seal. Everything is of the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Everything is like a dream. As long as you are under the sway of the dream, seeing the dream is real, you're constantly going to be in the nightmare of the dream. How to get rid of this? How to get out of this nightmare? Wake up. Wake up from the sleep of ignorance. You'll be free from the nightmare. How to wake up? Wake up to know the reality, just as you know the dream as not real, the dream as coming from a mind. Likewise, we have to know that everything is like a dream, everything is coming from a mind. How can I know that it is coming from a mind? Yes, and this is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is the nature of emptiness, selflessness. How can I know this? Okay, let us quickly meditate on the emptiness of yourself. Okay, what are you doing? Just follow the instructions. What are you doing? I'm meditating. I'm meditating on the four seals. And how does this person, as you, look like? Okay, she looks like this. He looks like this. Okay, how does this person appear to you? As like the real object, or as like a dream coming from the mind, like a movie projector, but movie projector not coming from the screen, rather coming from the projector. And this cell, does it appear to exist from its own side or from the mind, like a movie projector? Of course, not like a mind projecting it is so solidly there. This is deceptive. This is the one which is responsible for, this ignorance is responsible for creating all the problems. How do you know that this self does not exist the way it appears, as so objectively real, so solidly there from the object? Okay, if this self does exist from the object, remember what Arjuna said. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close to the mirage see water? If the mirage were to be water, why not those close to the mirage see water? In a like manner, if this person were to exist objectively, why don't I see this person as I go closer to this object? Okay, now let us go closer and closer to this object. As we go closer to the object, we see that we are just made of the very thin skin. The first thing that we meet is the very thin skin. This is not me. We are only interested in the self, the person, which is there from the object. Just get rid of all those things which are not self. The thin skin is not you. Remove that. Behind that is the fatty tissues. Of course, that is not me. Remove that. Behind that is the muscles, the cartilages, the bones, the skeleton, the bone marrow, the heart, the lungs, the spleen, the kidney, the gallbladder. None of these solid parts is me 100%. These are not me. We can have heart transplant. We can have the lung transplant, the liver transplant, and we can have the transplant of the kidneys and so forth, and the blood transplant. We can also transplant, or we can change the blood. So these are not me, 100%. In other words, the solid part within me is not me. Element of earth is not me. Now what is left? The blood which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that is also not me. It's a little over 7 liters, 7.5 liters of blood. That is also not me. Remove that. What is left now? The body heat, the element of the earth. Element of fire, the body heat. Even that is also not me. Remove that. Now the air that I breathe in and out, element of air. Of course, that is not me. Remove that. Now what is that? The space. Our body is made of atoms. The atoms are essentially made of space. But space is also not me. I'm a solid person. The space is a vacuum in nature. Space is also not me. Remove that. What is that? Only the consciousness or the mind is left. And the consciousness is also not me, because I'm a male, I'm a female. And the consciousness does not have a gender. Gender is posited on the basis of the mind. Therefore, consciousness is also not me. Remove that. What is that? Nothing is left there now. What is the self? The self disappears. We have come too close to this object, now the self disappears, which means that the self does not exist objectively. Stay in this experience for a while. That the self disappears. Where is the self? The self disappears. Okay, this is known as the meditation on the emptiness of self. What's the benefit of this meditation? Amazing benefit. Just as this self dissolves, in some cases a tinge of fear can come in you. In some cases a tinge of peace can come in you. A tinge of incredible, the tranquility can come in you, serenity can come in you, depending on whatever experience that you get. You're very lucky, you're going closer towards the reality. This discovery, what the benefit is amazing. Just as this self disappears in this meditation, if you subject your miseries to this analysis, even the miseries will also disappear. The moment the miseries disappear, you will have a feeling of incredible lightness, incredible joy and peace coming to you upon the dissolution of the miseries. This is known as you transcend all your sorrows, all your mental disturbance. The transcendence of sorrow is what you're experiencing. This is the fourth seal. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. You transcend the sorrow, all disturbance will come to an end. That is the absolute peace that everyone is seeking. Okay. Slowly come out of this meditation. Slowly come out of this meditation. We'll switch to the Bodhicitta meditation. Okay, slowly come out of this meditation. We'll switch to the Bodhicitta meditation. Okay, Bodhicitta meditation we'll do in relation to the four immeasurable practice the four immeasurables. And Buddha Shakyamuni, of all the beings, Buddha Shakyamuni is particularly remembered for his unconditional love. His teaching is grounded on compassion. So this is what we're going to do here. The four immeasurables: immeasurable loving kindness, immeasurable compassion, immeasurable joy, and immeasurable equanimity. The four immeasurables. We'll do that on the basis of the first two immeasurables. Because constraint of time, we'll do the first immeasurables, then we switch to the Bodhicitta. Okay, ready? Okay, so in fact, we are extremely lucky that today, on this very auspicious day of the Buddha Shakyamuni's Parinirvana Day, Buddha Jayanti Day, and the turn would be the Enlightenment Day. So on this day, we are doing this practice, which is the greatest legacy led by the incredible enlightened teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay, with this in mind, reinforce visualization of Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the enlightened beings around you, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, Ram, Krishna, Guru Nanak, Mahavir, Bahula, all these enlightened beings, and Abraham, all these beings just visualize in front of you. Particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, who all these enlightened beings, they see themselves as like brothers and sisters. Just visualize them. And reinforce the visualization of your two parents on the two sides, and all the family members, including your children, and all dear sentient beings living none aside, everyone here in Delhi, everyone in India, everyone in this world, everyone in the entire universe, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe, all sentient beings. And you are leading this meditation, and all are happily joining you, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they're watching you. Okay, immeasurable loving kindness. Just follow the instructions and invoke the experience to the best you can. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. Causes of happiness primarily consist of the wisdom of emptiness and the bodhicitta which cherishes others more than oneself. I will take the responsibility that all my dear Mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that they make such a courageous commitment, they intensely happy and proud of you, that the mother for the first time after all these many years of raising her children, you as the eldest daughter, you as the eldest son of the mother, for the first time in your life you are telling your mother, Mother, please take rest, you have done everything for us. I'm already grown up now. I'll take care of my siblings now, and you have done everything. Please take rest. And the mother could not believe her eyes, could not believe her ears. She is so happy, could not control her tears out of tremendous love that she feels towards you. This is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. They're so happy today that you make such a courageous commitment. And this pride and happiness all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas experience today invokes their compassionate omniscient minds to send for nectars and very sweeting lights towards you all ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and the nectars with the bodies beings yours instills in all happiness and the cause of happiness within the minds of the dear sentient beings and yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all the dear sentient beings, you are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear Mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The causes of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear Mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear Mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing the doing such a courageous commitment, they are intensely happy and proud of you, and this pride and happiness invokes their compassionate omniscient minds to send for nectars and very sweeting lights towards you all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies beings yours washes away all the miseries and the cause of miseries from the minds of sentient beings through yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all of the sentient beings, you're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Underscoring the true immeasurable unconditional love and the compassion is the incredible love and affection for all different sentient beings. Just abide in this experience for a while. Be superficial, it doesn't matter. Just abide in the experience like a superficial. The initial practice of the harmonium is so superficial, and later on it becomes so melodious and so full of tune. Likewise, we have to begin from this superficiality and eventually become real, moving experience of unconditional love. Okay, with this in mind, with folded hands, I will say a line of commitment bodhicitta. Let us all say this 3 times together. To the best you can, wholeheartedly try to say this together, invoking the respective experiences to the best you can. I'll say this line, and then we'll all say this 3 times together. Follow me. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Abide in this courageous community Buddha for a while. This is the most beautiful mind in this world. There could potentially exist in this world. It's amazing. Just abide in this courageous mind of Buddha for a while. And slowly transform this beautiful, beautiful mind into a spotlessly clean white moon disk, the horizontal sitting at your heart. This is also known as a conventional bodhicitta. This guarantees that your self-centered attitude will be got rid of, and that you will have the expansive feeling of infinite happiness, infinite compassion, infinite happiness within yourself. It's amazing that you made such courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. But how can you know that you can become Buddha? Yes, it is not like a handful of sand. Handful of sand, you squeeze it, however much you squeeze, no oil will come out of that. But handful of sunflower seeds, oil will come out of that. There's the potential of oil within the sunflower seeds. Likewise, in my case, I'm not like a handful of sand. My mind is like a handful of sunflower seeds, where the potential of Buddhahood, potential perfection is within me. Okay, but till now it did not manifest. Now how can you say that it can manifest now? Yes, till now I'm being totally deceived by the two demons, which stops me from awakening this seed of perfection, awakening this seed of ultimate happiness, the self-grasping and self-centered attitude. Now I'm disillusioned by these two demons. These two are no more my friends, they are my enemies. I'm going to exterminate the two things. How am I going to exterminate these two demons? By meditating on the very powerful wisdom. What wisdom? Wisdom to see the emptiness nature of all phenomena. Okay, let's quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness of yourself, which you did as the third seal, as a part of the four seals. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does this person appear to you? As from the solitude from the object, or coming from the subject, like how the movie comes with being by the subject light, the projector. Instead of being from the object, instead of being from the screen like the object, is coming from the subject, from the movie projector, the subject. How does this person appear to you? Of course, coming from the object. This is the self-grasping ignorance. This is the deception. This is responsible for all the miseries. We have to get rid of this. How to get rid of this? By resorting to the counter force of the wisdom. How to bring this wisdom? Okay. This person, remember what Arjuna said, if the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? If this person would exist objectively, why don't I see this person as I go closer to this object? Okay, let us now go closer to this object. Going closer to the object, we see that the solid part within me, the skin, the fatty tissues, the bones, the skeleton, the cartilages, the muscles, the flesh, heart, the lungs, none of these solid parts is me. Animal earth is not me. And the animal water, the blood, is also not me. Animal fire, the body heat, is not me. Animal air is not me. Animal space is also not me. Element of consciousness is also not me. Taking away these six elements, where's the self? Oh, this self disappears. If there is something, it's none other than the six elements. Within the six elements, you don't find the self disappeared. Stay in this experience. What are you seeing? I'm seeing the six elements. You are seeing the absolute of the six elements. Where's the self? The self disappears. You are seeing the emptiness of the self, the disappearance of the self. Abide in the experience for a while. Okay, this is known as the wisdom of emptiness. This is one which will help you to awaken from the sleep of ignorance. Slowly transform this mind, wisdom of emptiness, into a spotlessly clean, thumb-sized white vajra, vertically sitting on the moon to your heart. It's amazing. Now you have the moon, which symbolizes unconditional love to us all dear sentient beings. which is the final remedy to overcome the self-grasping, self-centered attitude, and Vashu symbolizing the ultimate bodhicitta, or the wisdom to see the reality as it is, which is the final remedy to overcome the self-grasping ignorance. This guarantees that all your mental defilements will disappear, and that the Buddhahood, the final seed of perfection within you, will be awakened. Like the gold, when mixed with the soil, the gold is not visible, there is no glow happening. As you remove the soil one by one, as you remove the soil more and more, the gold inside will start to glow. When the soil is removed completely, the gold will blaze, will shine with such a brilliant light. Okay, this is exactly what is happening with these two things, the bodhicitta and the wisdom emptiness. All the mental defilements, the soul and mental defilements bound to be eradicated fully, and the gold like the Buddha nature, gold like the seed of perfection is bound to be awakened. Amazing. But don't forget your true parents and all the dear sentient beings are there who are suffering terribly, not being able to invoke these two bodhicittas within them. Yes, that's true. With infinite compassion towards all the different sentient beings, your true parents, all the family members, everyone. You invoke the Vajra moon within your heart, multiply infinite number of times. Share one side of the Vajra moon at the heart of your mother, one side with your father at the heart of your father, one side with each one of your dear sentient beings, including your children, one side with everyone here in Delhi, everyone who's going to be in the Indira Gandhi indoor stadium after 2 or 3 hours, everyone elsewhere, wherever they are, those who have no clue of what is happening today, everyone, the human beings, the animals, the spirits, the insects, the mosquitoes, everyone in India, everyone in the world, everyone in the Milky Way galaxy, everyone in the entire universe, everyone has the Vajra moon. Now everyone, it is your kindness that everyone has to share that the perfect seed of perfection, the perfect seed of happiness within each one of them is going to be awakened because of these two, the bodhicittas, that the two defilements, the two demons can be eradicated fully. Amazing. Meanwhile, don't forget that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the enlightened beings, they're watching us right from the beginning. The Buddha Shakyamuni, Mahavir, Prophet Muhammad, Krishna, Ram, Guru Nanak, and Baha'u'llah, and all these Jesus Christ, and the Abraham, and all these enlightened beings, they're watching us. Okay, they're so happy. Oh, what are you doing? Okay, why not we invite them to be a guest, to be a witness for our undertaking the aspiring Bodhisattva vow. So as a gesture of inviting them, they will slowly stand up to make 3 prostrations to all of them. So as we do that, you also invoke, you visualize your two parents and everyone. You're inspiring everyone to do the same thing. Okay, those of us who do not have knee problems or back problems, backache problems, you can sit on your right knees, and those who do have problems, you sit in whatever position is more comfortable to you. Okay, sit on your right knees. So this is the actual ceremony. Ceremony taking aspiring Bodhisattva vow, and because it will take a little time, if you start feeling the pain, I would suggest the moment you start feeling the pain, make sure that you sit you change your position, you sit in a position whichever is more comfortable to you. Okay, Let's turn to page 46 of this book. Okay, though, as I said earlier, as you start to feel pain, make sure that you sit in a position whichever is more comfortable to you, or on both knees. You see, consider on both knees if it is more comfortable for you, whichever is more comfortable. Okay, so this actual ceremony, this is incredibly great, and we are very auspicious. We are very fortunate that on this very auspicious day, we are taking this aspirant Bodhisattva vow. And as I said earlier, those of you who did not hear what I said before, this vow, although it is known as a vow, we don't really have to worry, okay, now what am I doing, right? So it's a very, very profitable vow, right? We can reap the maximum benefit without any responsibilities, right? Just make this good heart, just activate this good heart, wishing to help all others. So, as what we're going to do here, we're going to do this, and wholeheartedly we'll do this. Page 46, the last paragraph. You can read it. This is to prepare us for this as the ceremony taking the aspirant Bodhisattva vow. So the first how we prepare this is that because what we're doing is very important, and if you in the case of most of us here, and since we're born till now, we might not have undertaken such a beautiful ceremony, such a very important ceremony, such a meaningful ceremony, right? So because this is a very important ceremony, we need the help, we need the support of we need a great support. So the greatest support that you can think of is the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. All the enlightened beings, all the Buddha meaning, all the enlightened beings, not necessarily one Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni, all the enlightened beings, which we have already visualized. So we seek help of them. So that is the first line which says, I go for refuge to the true Buddha. Then, because this is journey, we're undertaking journey of cleansing the mind towards the journey of happiness, of final happiness. So this journey involves the road, and the road should be cleared of the roadblocks, creative roadblocks. So what is roadblock? Where is the road? Our mind is the road. Our mind is the road, and it must be cleared of the mental defilements, which blocks us from experiencing the ultimate happiness. So for that matter, how to remove the mental defilement? The best way by which to remove the mental defilements is by confessing the negativities, mental negativities. So it says, the second line says, I confess the negativities individually. And then, once the road is very clear, but if the car does not have the fuel, again you cannot go. So the car should have enough fuel. What is a car? Our mind is the car. It should have enough fuel. Fuel of what? Fuel of virtues, fuel of merits. Best way to accumulate the greatest virtue in a short span of time is by rejoicing in the virtues of others, rejoicing in the virtues of yourself and the virtues of others. So the third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Now the road is clear, your car is enough fuel. Where are you going to go? So I'm going to go to the land, to the destination which is most meaningful. That is the final purification of your mind. So that is known as the awakening, your seat of the perfection. Perfection is known as Buddhahood. It is not to do with Buddha, the historical Buddhism. It is to do with the perfection. So the fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Okay, let's say this 3 times together wholeheartedly, and imagine that you are reading this, and all of your two parents and all sentient beings are with you, and all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're watching us. I go for refuge in the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, the next two stanzas is the main ceremony. is the main ceremony. So if you start feeling pain, you sit in the most comfortable way, right? If you start feeling pain, it's fine, you can sit in the most comfortable way. So the two recitations, the two stanzas, this is page 47. Page 47, the first two stanzas, begins by invoking the Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, all the enlightened beings that we have already visualized. And what we're going to do is the two stanzas. The first stanza is related to the earlier enlightened beings, how they become Buddhas, how they become enlightened, through two means. One, by the cultivating a very strong aspiration, cultivating a very strong motivation of the bodhicitta, wishing to become enlightened. Buddha means enlightened, wishing to become enlightened for all beings. Number one, bodhicitta. Then number two, to fulfill the aspiration, to materialize or fulfill the aspiration of this, then they actually engage in the bodhisattva practices. There are 6 perfections plus 4 perfections, making 10. Perfect generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative concentration, and the wisdom, the 6 perfections, plus 4 perfections, skillfulness, aspiration prayers, the power, and the discriminatory wisdom, 6 plus 4. Okay, so this is how now they become enlightened and able to benefit all the beings. For example, say Jesus Christ, say the 2000 years ago he appeared, and how many billions of people are being positively affected by him. Likewise, the Buddha 2005 years ago he appeared, and how many people are inspired by him into compassion, into wisdom, and so forth. Likewise, all these enlightened beings, Ram, Krishna, Prophet Muhammad, then Abraham, then the Mahavir, then Bahula, amazing. So how they actually become enlightened through these two things. Likewise, I will also follow the footsteps, generate this bodhicitta, the aspiration, the very powerful motivation to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, and to materialize the aspiration of this, I will also engage in the bodhisattva practices, 6 perfections plus the 4 perfections. Okay, this is what we're going to recite. As we recite this, just see how much we can do it wholeheartedly, how much we can wholeheartedly say this, and during the 3rd repetition, reading the last line of the 3rd repetition, when you say, likewise shall I choose successful for the bodhisattva practices. When you say this, imagine that you receive the aspiration bodhisattva vow, right? And then you feel the joy of this. Okay, let's say this 3 times together. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I choose successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I do successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of bodhicitta, just as they successfully dwell in the bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of bodhicitta, and likewise shall I choose successfully follow the bodhisattva practices. Okay, rejoice in this, having received the aspiring bodhisattva vow. This is so precious. We are so lucky, we are so fortunate, and you did a great job today. And imagine that the mother, after all these many years, you being a very young girl, you being a very young the boy, and then always there's a complaint coming to the mother from the school principal, school headmaster, and the teachers and so forth, all these many years. And every time the mother sees the school principal, she's always a little apprehensive, always a little nervous. And today also the school principal, escorted by the teachers, they're coming to the mother. Again, the mother becomes a little nervous. What happened to my child? Again, what kind of complaint? Today is very different. The school principal comes with a smile, with so much of respect, courtesy to the mother. Mother was a little the shocked. What happened today is very different. So the principal, instead of bringing complaints, started to say, congratulate mother, your daughter and your son, two of them are appointed as the best students of the year of the school. The mother could not believe her ears. If it is a dream, she wished that the dream, she's not awakened from the dream, then let me be able to hear this and this be the reality. In fact, this is reality. Today, after all these many lifetimes of engaging in negativities, today, for the first time, we do something so good that all the Bodhisattvas, like the mother, for the first time, feel so proud of each one of you. Okay, this pride and happiness, all the Bodhisattvas and enlightened beings, they feel today, invokes the Vajra moon that they have at their heart in the full-fledged form to multiply infinite number of times. And visualize. In mirages like the rain shower, they descend. In millions they descend to merge with the one that you visualize in your heart. So that the Vajra moon, the compassion and the wisdom that you've generated, the bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness that you've generated, they become stabilized and blessed. Likewise, in mirages like rain shower, the Vajra moon from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, in millions they descend to merge with one that you visualize with the heart of your mother, thereby blessing it. They descend to merge with one which is the heart of the father and the heart of each one of the dear mother sentient beings in Delhi, in India, in the entire Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe. Everyone, human beings, animals, insects, the spirits, everyone, the gods and goddesses, everyone is amazing. If there is one gift, if there is one offering that you can make to make all the Bodhisattvas to cherish, to partake in this bodhicitta, this aspiration bodhisattva that you've taken, this is the greatest offering that you can potentially make to all Bodhisattvas, and today you made it. Amazing. And this is the greatest gift that you can imagine, that you can offer to all the dear sentient beings, to your children, to your mother, to your father, to all the sentient beings. Today you did this. It's amazing. And this all happened because of the kindness of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the enlightened beings. Slowly, along with all the sentient beings, let us slowly start to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, now what we do is that we will offer scarf, stand up in queue. Let's make quicker. Offer scarf to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, come. Okay, scarves offer there. Down there. Take your scarves here. And it will be rotated, so once you maybe they're about okay, this scarf. So this is actually the tradition which came from India. It was the offering the shawl. Shawl. So now in Tibet it is slowly modified. It is now become a scarf. We call it kata. Kata, oftentimes is always described this kata with the 2 things. One is whiteness, number 2 is the smoothness. Whiteness symbolizing the purity and the wisdom. And the smoothness symbolizing the protection. The 2 qualities of the mind which we aspire to cultivate. But we offer this to Buddha and to all the naturalists, particularly for Shakyamuni today, and to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who is still living alive. Right? We offer this on the table, and then we say prayers on this day. This is so auspicious, very fortunate. Okay, and then the others who do not have the scarf now, don't worry, we will rotate this. Yeah, okay, let's go. And make it different. On behalf of your mother.
So sorry. No, it's his photography.
Yeah, okay. If you move this side, just move. Then she'll move this side, so people can go from this side. Yeah. And maybe you can come this side.
Guide them.
From this side. This side. Mukaji, maybe we can go from this side. It might be easier. It's too crowded. No? Correct. Function is still going on. Function is still going on. So, अभी बाकी है function. शायद बाकी ceremony is still pending. Let's give standards. Let's give standards. Please take a seat. Thank you.
Send him this way. It was so crowded.
Okay, please take your seats. Okay, page 47. Okay, page 47. 47, the second last paragraph, the second last stanza. Okay, so what we did now, having taken the Bodhisattva vow, which is so precious, and that we don't separate from this the precious practice, even in the next lives. We include that in part of the prayer. So we'll read this together wholeheartedly 3 times. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Okay, the next stanzas down, these are the rejoicing in the good deed that you have engaged in. And as we say this, it says the awakening mind. There's one word coming, awakening mind. This is the desire, courageous mind that we've generated to become the full enlightened being, to benefit all sentient beings. This is known as the awakening mind, bodhicitta. And then in the following lines, we see the mention of the pronoun it. This pronoun it refers to the bodhicitta, right? Okay, let's wholeheartedly just try to invoke the respective experiences. In order to further increase it from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened mind in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit, having well obtained this human existence. I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I'm born of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family, and no shall disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakened mind has been born within me. Is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence. is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is great sun that finally removes the mist ignorance of the world, is the quintessential butter from the journey of the middle Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence, who wish to experience boundless happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and actually place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors and God the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight, may gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, now we'll dedicate with the end dedication prayer. We'll say this dedication before we return for the tea refreshment. Okay. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May all lives through the force of this merit never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahana vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path of renunciation, bodhicitta, perfectly in the 2 stages. From my 2 connections, vast space that were matched, when working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief living Buddha for all those whose minds wisdomized blinded by ignorance. Okay, so the with this we've finished the morning session of the prayers. Tinsi, do you want me to say something? Okay, and so let's say, as what we said earlier, practically speaking, always with the observing ceremonies and so forth, without without a purpose. If there's nothing to be taken home, take away, then it's just a ceremony. Whereas in that case, it's going to be slightly different. Say, after leaving this place, what we discussed earlier or said earlier, that let us bring a small change within yourself. A small change, right? Be it 1 degree or 2 degrees, right? Say change in what sense? If you're a little short-tempered person, you always talk, not really talk nicely to your mother. The first victim is your mother generally, right? Generally, your mother is the first victim of the agitation, right? And you may not agitate. You may not, create any problem. You may not even say a bad word towards the neighbor. You're a little scared. But your mother, you can freely express your, dissatisfaction, unhappiness, irritation, all these things. So the point is that let us make a commitment. Okay, in fact, what happened was that I have a family friend in the one place. Okay, that is question mark. Not question mark. But okay, right? I'm just going to say this. There's one in place, and the father, mother, and the children. The children, I know the children. And now they're already very, in the 30s. All the children. So they have been so kind to me. They always hosting my stay in that place. So once they decided to come to Delhi, and I said, okay, if you're coming to Delhi, you must make it a point to visit my place. And okay, everyone was very happy to hear this. And then I went to the mother, told her, then you're also coming to my place. And she said, yes, Geshe-la, but I have this problem, I have backache problem, I have this problem, so for usually she doesn't want to come. So why I was doing this is out of my courtesy and respect to her. And for me, it's very easy to make her come to my place. Very easy, right? Instead of me telling her directly. And then it was impossible that with all the courteous gesture to inviting her, impossible that she accepted. It's very easy. I know the trick. So what I did, I went to her eldest daughter. Hey, your mother's not coming to. When you are visiting Delhi, your mother's not coming to see my place. She said, no, everybody's coming to your place. I said, no, but I told your mother. She said, I have this problem, that problem. And the eldest daughter said, Mom? I said, yes. We're all going to Geshe-la's place, right? Yes. Done. Right? So what I'm saying is that this is the love of the mother and the children, right? Oftentimes, it may go a little different way. That the children may take for granted the mother's love and affection, and then just unnecessary, for no reason, the mother says, okay, some tea for you, okay, leave it there. Alright, that's what I do. Oh, what tea? When you're upset, what tea? You don't even know when to give me the tea, right? Okay, so they're all just unnecessary. From today onwards, let us make a little change. The time that we have with your parents, we never know. It's not going to be, for sure, it's not going to be 100 years. Right? It's going to be, we never know, it can be just 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, we never know. So a little time that we have together with your parents, make sure that they live happily, they feel happy to already they love you so much. Right? So let us take these steps, small steps. Buddha Jandi, right? Buddha Jandi, we went to Tibet house. Okay, from there I made this commitment to always talk nicely to my mother. And your mother may not be educated because of this, what she does, maybe your father, what he does, you know what your mother does, maybe little not as precise as what you intend. But there you explain things, but make sure that the Buddha said, Papa me and Pamada, never turn in Shumada, Kedesha Samada, Yuni Shunumeba. This is the stanza which is said by Acharya Vasubandhu, quoted from the Buddha Shakyamuni, quoting Buddha Shakyamuni, saying that the Buddha said that take care of parents, pay take care of parents, take care of your spouse and your children. And say the merit that you accumulate by making your parents happy, that equals millions times of the same act of generosity that you engage in with helping someone else. So this is what the Buddha said. So this is with the merit. Demerit likewise. If you do something which makes your parents unhappy, just for one moment, that equals millions of demerits accumulated, that the same gesture that you would do to someone else. So therefore, the parents, just make it a point that, remember, go back in time when you were age 5, 6, 7. Just the mere sight of mother makes you so happy. Don't forget that. And any problem that you have, your mother's there to jump to help you. Your parents are there to jump to help you. Don't forget these moments, right? And then now it's your job to make your parents happy, keep them happy. Just avoid all these unnecessary harsh words. That's the first step of celebrating Buddha Jayanti, right? Okay, so now we have Tenzin Rimala. She likes to make some announcement. Our program coordinator.
Good. Join us for the tea. I just need to.
Not me.
Yeah. Join us tea and refreshment at the adjacent hall, and also please get the share of the song.
Okay, so offering. So what I would suggest is that the younger ones, some of the younger ones, can come up to help the Tibetan staff to distribute the Tsok. Tsok means it's offerings, blessed offerings, which we already offered to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, to all the enlightened beings. Now you get your share. Okay. All the younger ones come up. And distribute. Others sit. Others please sit. Others sit. Young ones.
Hang on. Come.
Because once distributed, then we can go for the tea refreshment.
We have to someone chocolate, he got chocolate. Okay. Yeah, one person tied, yeah? You tied. Done, you open it and keep it back, That's not good. Audio? Sorry, stand it up. You tie it, you keep it in the box. Just keep it in the box. Make sure that
Anything chocolate mango sweet or
Aryan,
something.
put it. Give it to us. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Krishna. I think keep the chocolates there enough. I think we'll so this with the chocolate separately karenge. Okay.
Okay, no. Aryan? Chocolate is plain used. No. Just our gentleman Aryan wants to use some chocolate for everyone. Make sure that you get your share. This is given enough.
इसको
One moment. Thank you. Make sure that you get your share of the soft offering, the best offering. Raise your hands those who do not get. Raise your hands those who do not get. Okay, one over there, one to the right side. Okay, raise your hands those who do not get your share. Okay, if you got now, join us for our team. Take the next room, take refreshment.